What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be reviewing Ebonite's newest asymmetrical solid, the Polaris. Now, if you guys like this video and you want to see more ball reviews and comparisons between all the different brands, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Then, if you like this ball and you want to order your own Ebonite Polaris, the absolute best way to support the channel to continue to see videos like this is to use the link in the description where you can order your very own Ebonite Polaris. That way, BowlerSmart knows that I sent you and it shows that I have value. And then also down below in the description, I have a link to my Patreon where I invite each and every one of you to come out and join. I'm turning that into a pretty unbelievable bowling community. I say that in every single video because I wholeheartedly believe it. And it also directly helps support the channel to continue to see great content that you guys are seeing. Now, let's get into some of the tech on this Ebonite Polaris. Now, this is according directly to Ebonite's website. The category is in the value category. The color is orange, sky, and purple. The reaction says that it's a strong overall hook, and the cover stock is the GSV3 solid. I don't really know a whole lot of what that means, but that's what it is. The factory finish is 500, 1500 Sire micro pad. Now, what I will say is that right out of the box, this feels like it has a ton of surface. The core is the Polaris core, which in 15 pounds has an RG of 2.47, which is pretty low, an overall differential of 0.48, and an intermediate differential or a mass bias differential of 0.18. So I am fully expecting this ball to be very, very strong. Then with the layout with this ball, I went with my typical standard asymmetrical layout, which is 45 by 4.5 by 45. This Polaris does feature the dot technology, so you can drill as close as you want to the pin, well, it's actually the dot, but as close as you want to the pin without worrying about the ball cracking or without worrying about voiding the warranty, which is the most important thing. So 45 by 4.5 by 45. So I'm gonna take you guys out on the lanes now so that we can see what this Ebonite Polaris is all about. And then guys, if you like this jersey or any of the jerseys in any of my videos, or if you'd like to order your own Coolwick jersey, you can head on over to Coolwick's website, which is www.coolwick.com, and use my promo code MOTIVELU10. That'll save you 10% off your entire order. So let's hit the lanes and see what this big, strong asymmetrical solid is all about. Oh, that's early. Closer. Little more left. I tried to So we just got done with the first 5 shots with this Polaris, and that first shot, I was like, holy, you know what? This thing is early. I mean, it was crazy how early that was. Now, Samstown does have a lot of friction in its, like, by nature. So I wasn't expecting it to look all that great from there anyway. But man, it was really early. And then I made a small move, like 2-in-1, and it wasn't enough. It needed way more oil. And then that last shot in the group, I actually moved like another 2 or 3 left a little bit. I kind of fell out. Well, I did fall off shots, so it didn't look that good. But it got through the fronts and it went through the pins. A lot of times with these big, huge asymmetrical balls, when you get left and throw it into the friction, it tends to roll out. I'm really glad that this one, even though it has a really low RG, the differential is like in that medium, on the high end of medium, it still got there and kind of shaped. So it'll be interesting to see how this looks as I get left. I don't think I'll be able to create a whole lot of shape, but what I'm seeing so far is that it reminds me of like maybe a little bit smaller version of like that Reality that I really liked. I'll tell you what, I already like it more than the Informer. So we'll see. This is also like my first Ebonite ball in like 10 years. I think my last Ebonite ball was the Playmaker. So it's been quite a while since I've thrown an Ebonite ball. I'm gonna keep chasing the left throughout this video. Let's get back on the lane. Oh, terrible shot. Oh yeah. Oh, I like this ball. So we're 10 shots in. I love this ball. If it can continue to do what it just did on the lanes, I love this ball. I'm gonna say that I probably like this a little more than the Power Torque, and that's saying a lot because I love that Power Torque. So of those 4 balls that I reviewed, the Polaris, the Infamous, the Obsession Tour Pearl, and the Power Torque, it would probably go Obsession Tour Pearl 1, so far Polaris 2, then Power Torque, then the Infamous. And that's crazy because I love that Power Torque. So these next group of shots, I'm gonna move a little bit further left still try to keep my angles a little bit more shut down. I may try to get at least one of them going a little bit right just to see what happens when this ball sees the friction. But overall, I absolutely love what I am seeing. I hope you guys do too. Oh, a little slow. A little slow. Ah, there we go. Oh, okay, so this Polaris is definitely that typical asymmetric solid that ends up being special, because a lot of times, the vast majority of times, when you get in and you send it right, they roll out. This one seems as if when I get it right, it still wants to shape a little bit. Now, it's never, ever, ever going to shape like a Obsession Tour Pearl, because this is a much stronger, solid cover that comes with surface. So this is gonna be a bowling ball that you're going to be throwing on the longer patterns, on patterns where there's a lot of volume. This might also be a pretty good ball also when you're following urethane, or pretty much any time that there's a lot of oil in the middle part of the lane and you need to keep the ball a little bit more in front of you. Oh, also, I think this will be pretty good in over-under situations. Now, it's not gonna be very good when there's a ton of friction to the right. It's not gonna be good when you're trying to stand at 30 and hit 5 down lane, because it's not what it's built for. But what this ball is built for, it is really, really good at. So this is gonna be a ball that I'm going to add into my arsenal for sure. I think this is gonna take the spot of the Informer when I bowl that regional on the Billy Hardwick pattern, because it's 44 feet, a decent amount of volume. So I'm still looking for that good 1-2 punch for the... Oh! All right. Oh, that's it. Oh. Get there. So of all the things that I really like about this ball, so far what impresses me the most is that last shot that I just threw. I came around it a little bit more instead of trying to be, normally I'm trying to be as forward as possible because I used to spin the ball like crazy. So that last shot especially, I came around it a little bit more, glided a little bit more through the front, and it actually shaped. So that's a really good sign. And that's something that I'm developing as a bowler, is knowing when to come around it a little bit more, when to stay a little bit more behind it. But that looked really, really good. So these next couple shots, I'm gonna continue to get a little bit left and come around it a little bit more. And then if that's not really looking good, if it's not really working, I'll move back right and see what it looks like if I play a little bit straighter up the lane. Now that I'm nice and warm, nice and loose, maybe I can make it look pretty good from a little bit straighter. Whew. So the one big thing that I'm seeing out of this ball is that it is extremely responsive to how you come out of the ball. So when I'm a little bit more forward, the ball tends to roll a little bit more forward. But then now, like those last group of shots, when I came around it a little bit more, the ball actually got down lane, wasn't as early, and still created shape. Now that screams versatility, but take that with some caution, because I don't think it'll look very, very good when I get into like zone 1 and try to play like in between first and second arrow. So now that we've seen what it looks like from way far left, I'm gonna move back right a little bit, not super far right, but just try to keep the ball a little bit more in front of me. Maybe try to get the ball between second and third arrow, down lane, or at the arrows, and then maybe around 7, 8, 9, 10-ish down lane, and see how that looks. Because that's the part of the lane that I typically like to play anyways. So we're gonna see if this ball still has it some 25, 30 shots in. Jeez. Okay, so I am wholeheartedly impressed with this ball. It looks really good when I'm a little bit more forward, play a little bit straighter. Looks really good when I got left and shaped the ball. It's just another one of those balls that they're pouring over at Brunswick that's just really, really good. Now, I don't have anything to compare it to, meaning what the Ebonite balls rolled like before when they were being poured in Kentucky. So all I know is that this ball rolls really, really good, and I am incredibly impressed with this ball. This is gonna be like maybe the icing on the cake here to see if it's gonna look good in this versatility test that I'm about to do. So I'm gonna throw 3 shots, one from each of 3 zones, one from about 15 with my feet, one from about 25 with my feet, and one from about 35 with my feet. Those are starting points. I sometimes drift a little bit more to the right, but that's okay. And the goal for this is to see if this ball is going to be versatile. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys think that this ball is going to be versatile or not. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hey, so we went 3 for 3 in that versatility test. Now I laugh because anytime I think a ball's not gonna look so good from one of the zones or whatever, it ends up looking amazing. This looked really good from zone 1. Zone 2 arguably looked better. Zone 3 was a little suspect, but when we get into that part of the lane with this much transition on the lanes, I typically wouldn't be in an asymmetrical solid anyway. I would typically be in something a little bit cleaner through the front, a little bit more responsive down lane, something like that Obsession Tour Pearl. Overall, I really like what I see out of this ball. I really like how versatile this ball is. It is, I know I've said this maybe 2 times already, this will be my 3rd time. It is very responsive to how you come out of the ball. Again, meaning if I come out of it a little bit more forward, the ball tends to tumble a little bit more and roll a little bit more forward off the back part of the lane. Then if I come around it a little bit more, it really glides through the front and creates a little bit more shape. So I really, really, really like what I'm seeing. I think I love this ball as my first Ebonite ball in a long time. Use the link down below in the description so that you can order your own Ebonite Polaris. And more importantly than using that link, or the reason you want to use that link, is it directly helps support the channel. It will allow my channel to grow. And that's the biggest thing. I want this channel to grow so that we can reach more and more bowlers. Actually, no, not until next time. Click right here to watch one of my other videos. Click right here to subscribe now. Until next time.